Hello, I'm Jo, and welcome back to my channel for the first time in a while, and also the first time in 2020. For today's video, I thought it would be most appropriate to kind of sit down and do a chit chat, get ready with me. That way I can talk to you guys a little bit about 2019, 2020, the goals, what I've been up to, and what I would like to be doing in the future. That said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so since I already did my foundation and my eyebrows off camera before starting this, and I know that I'm probably gonna make a mess with my eyeshadow, I'm gonna start just by, you know, doing a little bit of this mess so I can catch any of the fallout. I don't know how 2019 went for you guys, but for me, it simultaneously like flew by while also proving to be one of the longest years of my entire adult life. Just to recap, there was makeup and a breakup, the time that I accidentally ended up working for a pyramid scheme. I got my first ever SFX gig working on a film set, and that was amazing in every way, even though it was cold. My first night shoot, and I literally was up for like 48 hours. I was in my first wedding in 2019 as a bridesmaid. Basically, I woke up last November in 2018 and I was like, I'm gonna do a bodybuilding competition. And you know, like I had been around bodybuilding before. My first ever makeup gig was actually working backstage at bodybuilding competitions. I worked with my cousin Kim and her company, and that's what we did. But you know, at the time, I was like pretty much the heaviest I've ever been in my whole entire life. I was like almost 200 pounds, and you know, I didn't really work out. I mean, I ran my mouth, but that doesn't count apparently. And had you asked me then, and shoot, I think, you know, even in conversation about it, I literally was like, absolutely not, in no way on God's green earth that you could ever get me to put down the cookies long enough to try to do something like that. I'm someone who didn't even wear shorts in public until this past summer, and I'm 26 years old. So the idea that I would be getting up on stage naked and offensively tan in front of God and everybody, but specifically a panel of judges that was there to judge me and my body, absolutely not, no way, You have to be a certain level of crazy to do something like that, and I needed a new hobby and a new goal to continue to push myself and strive for something, and that's what I decided to do. So I spent an entire year, all of 2019, everything that I did was about bodybuilding. I mean, that meant packing my calories in a cooler and carrying it around with me to both jobs. That meant getting up at 3 a.m. and doing cardio, because especially towards the end, I had to get in 2 hours of cardio a day. And you know, like you don't have time to do 2 hours at the same time and train. So I was doing 2 a days. I was going to the gym in the morning. I was getting my cardio out. I was going to my first job. I would go work out in between my first and my second job, and then do my cardio after my workout if I could. And if not, I would go to my second job, and then when I got off, I would go do cardio, go home, go to bed after packing all my food for the next day, and then get up in the morning at 3 a.m. and go do my cardio again, and like we had to go. And I did that for a year. I mean, I had just moved back home from New York after taking my second contract up there. When I finished my contract, I had an opportunity to stay up in New York because I was on Long Island, so I was like 40 minutes away from the city by train. And you know, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, I could go back to school for makeup artistry up here. You know, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to like do, but the reality is that I had already made some film contacts down here in Atlanta, and my family was here, and I just couldn't justify moving my entire life up there and trying to start over if I did have these connections, and if I wasn't entirely sure that 110% was the route that I wanted to go. And so it made more sense to come down here. But then, of course, once I got here, I was like, what do I do now? There's no time like the present. Let's go. And I threw my entire self into it. I didn't really document it the first time. Like, I thought about it, and I would like post on my Instagram like stories of, you know, being at the gym at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. But I think, you know, like even in the people that I follow online who do bodybuilding competitions, it's really cool to see their journey, but a lot of the content seems kind of the same. Like, you like watch them work out, and then they talk about food, and you know, they're like, yeah, it's hard, and like that's all you get. But like, I just lived through it, and as a normal person or an average Joe, self-plug there, doing a bodybuilding competition, like, it's hard. It's hard, and I cried, and I was frustrated, and, you know, I struggled a little bit with the diet for a while. Like, I had a huge almond butter habit, which I definitely got in trouble with, or for. So sorry, coach. The people closest to me, or even just like people at work, they like watched me struggle. I'm not someone who can hide my emotions very well. Exactly what I am feeling, you can see on my face. And I mean, like, to the point where there were times where people were like, why don't you just quit? Or why don't you just like go eat something that you want? You're starving yourself. And it's like, you don't understand. I don't want anything as much as I want to succeed. So as miserable as you feel sometimes, as tired as you are, as much as it hurts your feelings when someone tells you that you don't look good, you look sick, and they're worried about you, all of that is worth it in the end. And I think that when I do this next show, if I am pretty vigilant about, you know, like, if I can get really good at documenting the process and like really showing people what it's like, I think it's going to be an amazingly entertaining, or maybe inspiring, or maybe you'll all think I'm crazy. You have to be to go to the gym at 3 a.m. to do bodybuilding in general. You have to be a little psycho. You just do. All right, this is going to be the fun part. This is where we go to put clouds in our eyeballs. So I've never really been someone who did like New Year's resolutions before, but I think last year was the first time, and I didn't really mean for it to be a New Year's like resolution per se, but it was the first time that I had a goal that I wanted to work on, that I like truly put my heart and soul into. So, and I realized by doing that, because even though it was only supposed to be a 6-month process, because I was like, oh, I'm going to compete, you know, this summer, and then we'll go back to normal life or whatever, it ended up taking me a whole year. And so when January rolled around this year, instead of finding the prospect of doing or having a goal that is going to take a year of my time kind of daunting, instead I was like, well, I mean, you know, it took me 1 year to focus on this one specific goal, and you know, the time is going to pass anyways. But then thinking about like what I want to accomplish or focus on this year, I was like, okay, well, what's important to me? Being an artist can be really difficult. You know, like, it's hard to find that balance between, you know, what I want to do with my life is make art, but what I need to do with my life is anything that makes money so that I can afford to make art. So when I came home, I knew that I wanted to create a channel anyways, because I was like, you know, working in film and theater can be really inconsistent, and I wasn't like 110% sure what I wanted to do like overall in general. So I was like, I need to be prepared to, you know, make my own work. So I really wanted something that I had control over. And like I said, I love to teach. And so because I found YouTube so useful for myself, I thought it would be a great idea to start a channel and teach other people about something that I was super passionate about. So that's kind of why I started this channel. All of that being said, you may be like, okay, well, if you love it so much, then where the fluff have you been? As much as I truly love doing this, I found it increasingly difficult over the last year to justify, with everything else I had going on, making the time to sit down and film. Because like one of these videos, and granted, I will get better at this in time, when I get better at talking and doing makeup at the same time, or editing, which takes me forever. Oh my god, forever. You don't even know how many videos that I have filmed, like for Christmas, for Halloween. I have several videos that I finally sat down and filmed, but then who has time to edit? So my goals this year are to compete again and hopefully win. I also want to be more active here on YouTube and social media in general because it's kind of what helped me get my start in this business anyways, or, you know, it kind of put me where I'm at as far as like my artistry goes. I find things online that inspire me constantly, or people who inspire me constantly. And I really want to give someone else a piece of what I gained through following like Jordan Hans and Raw Beauty Christie and like any of the content creators that I'm into. Like I wanna do for somebody what watching their videos kind of did for me. And also I just think that I would really enjoy it. I'm gonna tap some glitter into that. Hopefully that'll be what 2020 brings me, is a year of growth. So yeah, let me know down below something that you guys are working on in 2020. If it's a continuation of a goal that you've made in the past that you are just refocusing on or continuing to focus on, or if it's a New Year's resolution, you know, new year, new you. I like to say that it's a new year, same me, but with better goals. And I have a special shout out to subscriber 181. You know who you are. Thank you. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I guess I'll zoom you in so you can see this like cloudy mess I got going on. And then I'm gonna go search for some makeup remover because I actually don't think I have any.